Hello, everybody, and welcome back to M2O TV. My name is Schae Lewis, and I am the owner of Mission to Organize. Did you know that the average American home holds over 300,000 individual items? Holy moly. It's no wonder that having a home inventory to manage all of these is crucial. Today, we have the opportunity to speak with the co-founder of Home Zada, Beth Dodson, who I met through NAPO. Home Zada is an online and mobile digital home management platform to help homeowners manage their home remodeling projects, maintenance schedules, home inventory, home finances, and expense information. It is a personal finance platform dedicated to helping consumers manage their home. Welcome to M2O TV, Beth. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Schae, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. As you indicated, HomeZada is a complete platform to manage your home. And a little bit about me is I worked at a company called Meridian Systems. It was the top world-renowned company that allowed us to manage project management software for commercial construction. And we were the market leader in doing that. So as you can imagine all these massive projects around the world have all these details they have to manage. So our software helped them better manage that. And it was amazing. Now, I said to myself, because I was so frustrated about managing my own home, why are there not tools similar to this project management solution managing my home? And I knew I couldn't have been the only one that wanted this. I was arguing with my husband over maintenance tasks, who's going to do it, who's not, which I think is so foolish. I didn't have a maintenance calendar that would alert me or remind me to when those tasks need to be done. I was having trouble managing projects. I was doing that through Excel spreadsheets, which I think is so foolish. I mean, it's good, but it's just not robust enough, especially when I knew what good construction project management looked like. And then at the same time, I was told to carry an inventory by my insurance company. And they gave me this trifold pamphlet, which I thought was so funny because nobody can actually put the stuff in one room on a trifold pamphlet. It was crazy. So I knew this wasn't going to work for me. And what we do at HomeZada is allow you to track these details in a cloud-based, very secure environment. What better way to do it? And so it took me 10 years to come up with the details about this system.
Wow, that is so cool. And thank you for sharing that story about how you came to build this platform, because I think that is very important for people to see that you had a need and then you created it. What are the different circumstances in which somebody would need HomeZada?
Yeah, so there's a variety of circumstances. And as you can tell, we talked about different areas of using HomeZada. You can use it for a maintenance calendar. And I encourage everyone to do that, because why keep all the information about your home in your head when a system can actually remind you on how to do that? And you can free your mind for really great creation, which is amazing. The second thing that a lot of people struggle with is projects. We talked about that briefly. And projects are about managing the details, the tasks and the items to conduct those projects and making sure you're not going over budget, and you do it in the time frame that you need to do those different tasks. Finances, let's face it, our home is one of our largest assets for many people, but it's also our largest expense. The Consumer Expenditures Report tells us we spend 33% annually on our homes. That's a lot of money, and we want to make sure it stays at 33% or can be reduced even by 1, 2, 3% versus going up. And my concern is that a lot of people are probably spending upwards of 40% and they don't even know it. And if you can actually get back that 7%, save another 3%, then you can use that for other things. Maybe you want to refurnish something in your home. Maybe you want to go on a vacation. Maybe you want to invest in yourself with a training or a certification. But freeing up those dollars is really important, and our system can help you do that. But one of the biggest things we do, because we want to talk about it on this call, is inventory, helping people manage the details of their home. And we start off that process simply by giving people the templates on how to manage that inventory. And what we mean by that is, if you give us the number of bedrooms and bathrooms in your home and the type of home you have And when we say type, a condo, a single family, etc., we will give you the generic spaces and items in that room to get you started. And then you just follow the templates and follow the path of which way you want to start adding information inside the system. But as you can imagine, because we offer all those things in HomeZada, customers come to us at different periods of time during their homeowner journey to use different areas of HomeZada. And oftentimes they'll start one place and then they'll go to the other areas of HomeZada because they understand complete and total digital home management and home management in its entirety is more effective and will reduce your spend on your home and also save you time on how you manage your home.
I love it. So you dove in a little bit to home
Mhm,
inventories and to homeowners. Now, what about people who rent? Can they also
mhm.
use HomeZada?
When it comes to renting a property or a space, having a detailed inventory is actually really important because the flexibility that is offered to a homeowner is not always there when it comes to a renter. So making sure you document everything you have, even details about serial numbers, et cetera, on your computers is important for a renter. If by chance something bad would happen, breakage, floods, theft, that you need to file a claim and get that replaced. Furthermore, having an inventory just gives you kind of a peace of mind because you know what you have versus forgetting things that you may not remember. Because let's face it, we put things in closets and drawers, we buy things, we forget to update our insurance or inventory, excuse me. And how do you actually tell your insurance company about that? Our home inventory will allow you to do that.
I love it. As a renter, I appreciate that little tip because I do have renter's insurance. And if
Hmm.
I ever, heaven
Um,
forbid, have to use it, I want to make sure that I am prepared. So
yes.
thank you so much for sharing that. So I think it's time for us to get into the platform and maybe see how to set up an account.
So I'm on HomeZada's website. As you can see here, you can go down and learn a little bit more about HomeZada if you'd like. But this is where I'm actually going to log into HomeZada. What I'm going to show you here is we're in HomeZada Professional. You can see here we've got 60 projects in the system already purchased. We've created 36, and that means there's 24 remaining that we could give away as gifts. But one of the questions you had asked for is how do we add a property? So we're going to add a property, and you can see here we have this template that we asked you to complete. I'm going to make something up, and I'm going to say California Smith property. Just making something up. And I'm going to use, I can't use that address. So let's just use 11215, whatever, Main Street. And you can see here there's additional address field, zip code, country, because yes, other people in other countries are using this. And you can see that I've already labeled this, and the system will ask you how many bedrooms and how many bathrooms. We're going to just use the format that it's giving us right now. And what type of property, we talked about this earlier, is a single family, condo, townhome, duplex, etc. We're going to use single family, and then we're going to predict the spaces in the property. As you can see, we've got all the bedrooms and bathrooms. We've got a living room, a kitchen, a master bathroom. We've got even a half bath, a hallway, a garage, etc. We're like, yep, that looks pretty good. If we need to add new spaces, we can do it right here. We're not going to do that. We're going to confirm the spaces. And as you can see, the system will ask, do you want to populate fixed assets or populate possessions? Fixed assets, think of them as something that will remain with the house when you move. It's appliances, it's equipment, it's walls, it's finishings, it's lighting. When you populate your possessions, think of them as anything that will go in a moving truck. This house does not have an in-ground pool, so we're going to skip that and some of these other activities and populate the spaces. This is the property we talked about, Main Street, 3 bedrooms in Placerville. If we go to the inventory, you can see here there's no photos yet and there's no values yet. However, all those spaces are already pre-populated. So we've added them all in there. And when you go into those spaces, you can see here that you can easily make changes to areas if you want, and then we'll make updates. You can see that there is a location of that. It's in this house. You can change those locations. You can add the dimensions of the room if you want to do that. This
Hmm.
seems to be a very popular area of the system, paint brands and paint colors. Whenever you need those touch-ups, you want to make sure you have that on hand so you don't have to recreate the wheel. But one of the other things we have is the items. So we pre-populated the items for each space. So this helps guide you through the process of adding photos, videos, or documents to the system, to the item, to the space. And then if you want to create additional items or additional spaces, you simply add a space by clicking on this button, and then you go from there. It's really that simple. And one of the things that we found was when we can help people craft the spaces and the items already, they feel less stressed because as we talked about earlier, a lot of people have upwards of 300,000 items or more in their house. And so think of that from a human perspective. They oftentimes get frustrated on where do I start?
Yeah.
And because they get frustrated, they do nothing. And what we want to do is try to eliminate a lot of that frustration and guide them through the process. And by doing that, they can start taking their inventory very easily. And we've also got it structured in a way that it's space by space. So if they wanted to have fun with their family or friends or what have you, they can make a game of it with their kids. Here, you have a phone, you have a computer, you have a tablet, you get another phone. Each person go into a room and start taking all the pictures for the space. And
So
it's really that
can you
simple.
have multiple people on one account?
You certainly can. You can invite as many people as you want into your accounts. I only tell you this, that when you do invite those people, they see everything in the account and they can make all the edits in the account. So when you do invite people, make sure it's people that you want to be in the account. You can always delete them from the account after they've done whatever project with you, but just keep that in mind.
Awesome. And I like that you can add photos or videos. I think that's fantastic to have a video in addition to just pictures, you know.
Yes, and those are it's unlimited videos, unlimited photos, unlimited documents, and unlimited links. So if you want to link out to something, for instance, maybe you don't want to download a owner's manual for a particular appliance or item, but you want to link to it. And a good example of that is our electronics. A lot of electronics are not coming with owner's manuals anymore. So you can go to that link, and as a refresh, you can always see it and go to the link rather than downloading it. And then this is just another example of how you can view your inventory in an item list. Now, remember, this item list is not pre-populated yet, or as I said, no one's added information, but it's another way for people who want to edit because maybe they're faster with a version or a look and feel like Excel or Google Sheets. Managing one home is made easier with HomeZada. Managing multiple just ups the game even better. It's amazing.
I can see the value for sure.
So you can see here that we've got this house. This is in Colorado. And one of the things we first start off with, just briefly, is we have this news feed, and it gives you information, one, samples of our blog, just tips on how to manage your house better, and it varies depending on the seasons. And then the other thing that we give to everybody is any upcoming maintenance tasks. Maybe some are overdue, maybe some are coming up. We also give information about the financial picture of the home. So then we'll give them tips on, we notice that in this inventory, you have 12 possessions in the family room that you haven't defined a purchase price for.
Right.
Now, you may not remember it. You may not know what the purchase price is. We just want to provide information, and then you can go to those areas and add some estimated values if you want. And this is important for reporting, which I'll show you in a little bit. And then additionally, you can see here, we've got a maintenance task that's coming up. It's called Check Your Attic for Leaks. We also do this with bathroom remodel projects and what have you. We bring forward all aspects of HomeZada to this one screen so that you can make the best decisions. And it gives you a snapshot rather than having to search through the system to find what you need.
I love it. So that's the dashboard.
Yep.
Awesome.
And then each module, as you could see, I'll just go back one second, but each module, there's inventory, maintenance, projects, finances. For sales, if you really want to pick apart your inventory, remember I told you about the fixed assets versus the possessions. If you want to take apart that inventory, you break off those fixed assets, and then you can transfer it to the new homeowner of your property. And you still get to retain your possessions and take them to your new home. One of the things we talked about was the spaces. You can see here, there's all these different spaces. And now we have photos in what was teal colored backgrounds before. When you go into these spaces, the first thing you can do, as you can see, is you can put as many photos as you want. These are different angles of the same room. And some people would prefer that. Then we go into the items. And as you can tell, this particular property has some items filled out, not all items. Okay, so they can come back in and add more. One of the things you want to see here is when it comes to the items, you can add a lot of different information. This is entirely up to the person using the system. We have some homeowners that are highly detailed and fill out every field. We have some
professional organizers.
Yes. We have some that are not going to fill out any. They just want to put the photos in there and the videos and the documents. And we have some that go somewhere in the middle. One of the things we talked about is naming. We will name some things, but you can change them as we showed you earlier. We do have this category called this category field, excuse me, and it has a variety of drop downs in this field level activity, this drop down menu. However, if you don't see a title or a tag of what you want to call this, you can actually change that in the system by simply adding a new name. So for instance, if you have a wine collection, you can simply come in and call it wine collection. Now we know this is blind, so it's not going to happen. We're going to keep it building material, but the wine collection will remain in the category drop-down list. So it's really valuable. You can add a value, a brand, if you know what it is. And then if you have a purchase price, or excuse me, date, purchased from, location, we can track it by quantity of items or unit value. So for that, think of a dining room set and dining room chairs. You have 12 chairs, maybe 10, and then each chair may be $200. So you can actually drill it down into that scenario, or you can say I have, $1,200 worth of chairs, and then
So
I
you
can
don't
come
have to
down
put
here and
each
put
chair
notes.
in individually, right? You can just say, I have 12 of these. Yeah. Nice.
Exactly. One of the other things we also have in here is some brand details. It came to our knowledge that everybody was trying to manage their warranty periods, because of course you never get notified when your warranty is up and then something happens to something that you own. Of course it does, right?
Yeah.
So we wanted to make sure that you can enter in the details of the specific item. So think of electronics, appliances, think of building materials. If you hire somebody, think of windows. You can put all the model, serial number, size, the warranty periods, when they expire. And then like the maintenance task, we will send you a reminder 90 days before the warranty is due that it's coming due. Do you need to go check on something? And this could actually help you save money, because you may be able to get something repaired prior to it breaking. They wanted to start tracking a personal contents inventory that they could distribute to their estate planner. And so by simply typing in who you want something distributed to, and maybe any notes if you want, we have the ability to present our customers with a separate PDF that is focused on estate planning. And one of the things I remind people is update your inventory at least annually, because you've purchased things, you've removed things, you've even moved things from room to room. And then they can also track things like we have in here a personal online safety deposit box if they want to track any of their documents about their person, their property, whatever they want to do. They can also add items like exterior storage units. So a lot of people have storage units. And so I know it's not always the organizer's best friend, the storage units, but some people do have them, and they can start tracking that information and also storing it in here, because oftentimes people forget what they have inside their storage units or on any other type of
So here's a
property
question.
type
Do you put the
information.
offsite storage unit inside of this as a space, or does it become its own location?
So you can do either or. That's the
Okay,
flexibility of HomeZada. It's how your brain wants to manage it.
sure.
Let's say you have a large property, and on that property, you have a really big barn.
Mm-hmm.
And you might say, you know what? I really want to treat the barn separately because it has an in-law apartment or a rental unit in it. It has where I have horses and what have you in it. And I actually lease out my barn for income because of horses coming and going. And I don't know why I'm choosing a barn, but I'm just choosing a barn. And um, you could track that as a separate property because you're tracking different dollars and cents according to it.
Yeah.
And the structure may be as big as a house.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so here's a question
Yep.
for you. Um, let's say, unfortunately, something happened. There was a flood,
Mhm.
there was a fire. How do I get that inventory to my insurance?
Great question. So as you can see here, we went into reports and I went into a property that had a lot of data. And so this property, as you can see, started crafting and identifying all the different costs inside that particular home. And you can see there's $35,000 in the living room, 42 in the dining room, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and so on. You can look at this from a spaces perspective or a category perspective as well
Hmm.
for people who want to manage how much money they're spending in what category or what space. And that helps people, let's say if they need to add a fire extinguisher close by to a particular space because there's more value items in them, or even a smoke detector.
Hmm.
The other thing that we do is, and there's reports with everything, we'll also track how much of your inventory is completed. And that goes into, did you add a photo? Did you add a price for the item, estimated price? Did you add any other fields that you wanted completed, so on and so forth, to help people better understand where they could continue to enhance their inventory to make sure it has as many details as possible that they choose to put in there. But you also talked about reports. We
Mm-hmm.
have this ability to print an inventory PDF.
Hmm.
You can use possessions, fixed assets, or all of the items.
Okay.
The other thing you can do is you can print an estate planning PDF. This is for your estate planner. But another option and a third option is you can export information from your inventory into an Excel spreadsheet or a Google sheet. And you can
Great.
submit that to your insurance company as well. You really want to make sure that you're covered appropriately with very valuable items. So collectibles are always important. Believe it or not, some insurance companies do not cover high quality rugs. I learned that the hard way.
Hmm.
They don't cover certain paintings. You have to make sure you note it. They don't cover certain artwork and or collections that you have, like coins or what have you, unless you let them know that you have it, so they can give you the proper coverage for it.
Okay, so then you're basically providing them this list before something happens, not
Yes,
necessarily after.
yes. Preparation is king.
Got
So making sure you notify your insurance provider early on that you have all this will help you, in case of a claim, get reimbursed for as much as you can for all the things that you own, not just some of the things because you couldn't remember.
Yeah. I love it. Thank you so much for walking us through this amazing platform. I love all of its capabilities, and I can really see that there is a lot of value for both homeowners and renters to have this home inventory in addition to everything else that you provide here, especially organized people. It's really something that I think is super special. So kudos to you for creating this amazing platform. And thank you so much for your time today and sharing it with all of us. I want to make sure that people can reach HomeZada and reach you.
Yeah, they can reach us at homezada.com, HOMEZADA.com. HomeZada.com. And they can also contact us at info@homezada.com and also connect with me on LinkedIn. Yeah, I am there, and feel free to connect with me. Send me a note, introduce yourself. I'd love to hear from people.
Awesome. Great. Thank you so much for your time at Mission to Organize. You can reach us on our social media. Look out for our newsletter and our next video right here on M2O TV. Bye.